how are we gonna start this? Like, do we just like jump in and be like, so we're talking about all in the Family today?
Archie boy.
Yeah.
Just start off with a couple of racial slurs.
But it was like he was so casual about them that it almost wasn't super racist.
Was it so casual because it was part of the time period, or was it so casual just because he was just casually racist?
I think he was supposed to be like, I don't know, the like caricature of like the fucking
Oh boy.
Where one of his like best friends dies, and he's supposed to do the eulogy at the funeral, and then he finds out that his friend was Jewish, and like he freaks out and he's like, why didn't you tell me he was a Jew? And like he can't do it at first, and then like he's like, if you just told me it wouldn't have mattered or whatever. But then he goes up and he like gives out this speech and makes a lot of jokes. He's like, well, Jesus was supposed to make an appearance, but I guess he can't do that anymore.
I feel like that would definitely never fly in sitcoms today.
You think so?
You think a character would actually be able to be like, so I can't give a eulogy because my friend's Jewish?
He like
like I feel like
I think he's just supposed to make a representation of a certain mentality, blue collar, and just like grumpy old man, nostalgic about what America used to be.
I feel like Archie Bunker is, well, I mean, I feel like if you've ever seen that 70s show Red, it's kind of like a very toned down Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
Like I'm looking at this picture now. I feel like when they're making that 70s show, that's probably what they were going for, is like a kind of Archie Bunker-esque character. Or
I think I actually read that
Really?
they had based it off of him. Like Red's a war vet, so is Archie, and both grumpy. They also had the first gay character on All in the Family, and President Nixon really didn't like it. And
Really,
Nixon,
first gay character
yeah, he was like
in sitcom history.
in sitcom history, yeah, and he to like appear on TV. And Richard Nixon was also heard talking about All in the Family on the Watergate tapes, which is just
Really?
Really?
wow.
Yeah, because I think they went after him in one of the episodes.
Well, who didn't go after Richard Nixon? It's interesting, I read that All in the Family didn't use a laugh track, that they would film in front of a live studio audience, and then if a joke didn't land, the creator, Norman Lear, he would just leave the joke dead, which is weird, because I feel like nowadays people overuse the laugh track. Like Big Bang Theory definitely overuses it.
Yeah.
How Much Your Mother overused it, and no show is really filmed in front of a live studio audience anymore.
Also, I think Sanford and Sons was made in response to All in the Family.
Yeah, by the same creator of All in the Family, Norman Lear, but he was uncredited. Actually, I read that Norman Lear was uncredited for his work on Sanford and Son.
What?
Which, probably because he was working on a show for a competing network, and so he probably couldn't be like, oh, fuck you, NBC, I'm making this other show. I probably shouldn't swear when we're making this.
We're already too far gone.
Yeah. So Fred Sanford was kind of like Archie Bunker. They're kind of big into the whole bigotry thing. But I felt like Fred had a kind of quicker humor than Archie. Like Archie messed up a lot of words, and that was kind of the basis of a lot of the jokes in the show. Like instead of eulogy, he says like eulogy or something. Like he completely butchers it. And Fred has like kind of like a quick humor that I appreciated. But they were both middle class men.
Well, it's interesting though, because they both represent class, but from different aspects of race, but also are competing networks for the same people, or same producer or director.
Yeah, same producer, creator.
And it's interesting that All in the Family kind of paved the way for more realistic humor, like in terms of like racism and classism. Sanford and Son like kind of paved the way for like the Cosby Show and other shows like that. It's weird.
These two sitcoms are like two huge sitcoms. They're huge. Like they really paved the way for a lot of different sitcoms, like in the 70s, and 80s, 90s, and afterwards. And it's weird that they're never on TV anymore.
I know.
You would think that like TV Land or something would have reruns.
So that's where I used to watch it, was TV Land.
Really?
Sanford and Son, yeah.
Do they not have it on anymore? You just not watch TV Land? They're all over YouTube though. Full episodes, no commercials.
Watch them.
But yeah, I don't think they ever addressed in the series like what Archie Bunker is in terms of like ethnicity. Like they just never said anything about it.
That probably makes it easier for them because then.
They can hate everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the fact that he was so overtly like a bigot and so racist made it kind of like easier to not take him so seriously. Viewed in a way that he's so ridiculously wrong that you can kind of just discredit everything he has to say. It's like a mockery of racism in itself. But I don't know if that's the greatest approach to solving it.
I think they said there was one actor who appeared on the show, I forget his name, and I should probably fact check this. But he was African American and Jewish, and he thought it was so ridiculous that it was like funny too. So he could like appreciate the type of humor on it, and like he appeared on the show. So like obviously,
Solid.
yeah. And like a lot of blue collar people did respond well to it.
What are we doing outside?
I think we might.
Oh, okay. Should we end here then?